was in Los Angeles for Thanksgiving break, so I didn't get to see you on Thanksgiving.
I know, you went down there to see your sister, right? You went with your dad.
And my little nephews.
And I think it's interesting that you have a sister who is grown up and married.
Yes.
So much. How many years older than you is she?
22.
22 years.
She was 22, turning 23 when I was born.
So amazing how our families kind of intertwine, because your mom was 26 years older than her brother, my second child, your uncle Alex, if you can kind of keep these things straight. So
yes,
these wide age ranges between kids seems to kind of
I know I get the best and worst of being an only child and having siblings.
Exactly. Like Lisa says, she was an only child, and I have another only child.
Yes.
And yet now that they're adults, they can be close.
Yeah, it's very strange never having lived with someone, or I mean, for me, living even in the same, not like between 8 hours of distance, but like still being related and having that like familial connection with them. It's very strange, but I mean, I wouldn't trade it.
Yeah, but now that you're getting older too, when you're little, it's like you don't see them and they have their own life and you have your life. Yeah. But now that you're getting older, you can, and as you go through college and even get older into your own family, you will get closer and closer with your sister.
Definitely.
And
there's definitely a bigger gap between like 3 and 25
yeah.
and 17 and 36.
It's kind of like you catch up age-wise when you get older. Then it's not such a big gap. So I'm really happy that you have that, and sounds like you had fun down there, huh?
Definitely.
We missed you. We missed you for Thanksgiving. We'll see what happens at Christmas, huh?
Yes. Hopefully we'll be filming another episode for the podcast.
Hopefully.
About all the Christmas things. But let's get on to this podcast.
All right. Well, you know what? I want to know, because we talked about it so much last time, your date and how amazing he was. An unusual young man. We talked about that because young men, both in high school and college and even up into their early 30s, sometimes they're lacking what women really want. So
it's very funny you brought this up.
Yeah.
Things went very well for a little while, and then he told me that he really liked me. He thought I was an amazing person, but he doesn't want to date because he had a girlfriend a little while ago for a long time, and he doesn't know if he's ready to have another one.
Oh, okay.
And I was like, okay. So that's kind of where it is now. Still a very nice guy, but
yeah, it's not going anywhere.
It's not going anywhere.
Well, you had said last time that there seemed to be, sometimes you felt like there was a timeline, a time limitation.
Totally.
And it sounds like this was a natural
very short time limit.
Limit.
I know. We previously talked about how, especially in high school, there's kind of this expectation that you don't, I mean, unless you're really in love, like you've been together for years, you don't stay together after high school.
Yeah.
And especially for me, since I'm a junior, especially if I date guys who are maybe a year older than me, it's like, well, you have till the end of this year.
Yeah, exactly. And it sounds like at least your intuition about him was correct. He sounds like he's honest, pretty introspective.
Yes.
He was able to let you know, not kind of play the game.
Of course.
And that's good.
I totally agree. And there is no hard feelings. He's a very nice person.
You'll be friends.
Definitely.
Well, onward and upward. Your grandpa and I were away this last couple weeks. Not couple weeks, we were away for a few days. And at a beach. It was really nice.
Oh,
and
so jealous as the weather here is.
I know.
Frigid and horrible.
Yeah, we had a little quick getaway, and we were sitting next to, at this beach club in Cabo, we were sitting next to a young lady who was in her 20s, and got to talking with her about this very subject, about how hard it is for women in their 20s.
Yeah.
I think she was about 26, out of college, working, but to find eligible, mature as she was, men. And she was really cute and just having a terrible time with the dating population,
It's a really weird feeling because it's almost like you're raising a dog or like a show horse or something when you date guys. Because, I mean, I'm going to be 18, this upcoming year, and like, I feel like I've been the same maturity level since I was 15 years old.
Yeah.
Like, obviously I have experience now and I feel older, but like, my actual level of maturity has been the same. And I think at 20, it's, experience is going to add on, but at its core, it's going to be the same. With men, it just takes a lot longer. So it almost feels like you're like I said, like raising a short horse and like, okay, you'll race one day, but for now, like,
I wonder, I think there's a lot of factors at play with how young men just stay, what did she call it? She said they're Peter Pan. That's what she called it. And how they stay that boyhood Peter Pan for so long. And I wonder if the gaming culture is not part of it. Mm-hmm. And the fact that they can isolate, play games, and not interact and grow and learn about themselves. I don't know. It also brings up, some things that I've been reading about, again, people your age and the stress they feel. Mm-hmm. So many young people, and we kind of touched on this before too, have, psychiatric diagnosis, ADHD, autism spectrum, depression, anxiety, the list goes on and on. Totally. They're on medication. Some schools now are needing to hire psychologists because there's so much need for mental health care. And that there is something wrong with, I'm worried about young people and their mental health. So talk to me about that.
Well,
if I'm right or wrong, maybe I'm reading too much into it.
I do think you're right. I think it's just on the topic of mental health, period, not connecting it to young guys in the dating scene, but it is a really difficult topic, and I think it's the combination of everything. I mean, the world isn't exactly in its best state right now, which, gives people anxiety, and, there's a lot of, especially just being on your phone all day. Like, I can definitely say I've spent hours on my phone just in bed when I'm tired, just going through, I have nothing to do. And, like, every 4 videos, if you let it, is, like, something bad. Yeah. So, like, or, like, something that makes you feel like shit, or something you see that's, just not good for you, and you don't process it, but just, like, the repetition of that, like, I feel like really makes people, like, disassociated and depressed.
That is such a wise thing you're saying, because here's our kitty. Because I mean, we know from studies that bad news or negative things online catch people's attention. That's what they click on. They get the most likes, the most riled up. It creates, we're hardwired, I think, because of our protective survival instincts. Totally. We're hardwired to notice things that are dangerous and bad.
Right.
So it's kind of in our nature, not a bad thing if we're trying to survive in the savannah, but in modern times, just being onslaughted with negativity and there's a purpose to it. I mean, they want you to stay scrolling. So they're going to give you that. It's like, the slot machine. You're going to stay there and click again and feel that emotional rush.
I mean, definitely, and not to mention, like, if you sit on your phone for hours, you're only going to get, like, dopamine and serotonin, like, from, like, the scrolling. Like, there was a station, like, your dopamine, I forget if it's dopamine or serotonin, I think it's dopamine,
yeah,
spikes like when you get a notification.
Yes.
Not knowing what it is, not knowing it's, it's a text from a guy you like, it's, Yahoo sending you your 800 spam mail. It spikes no matter what.
Right.
So, like, it's the same thing with, like, seeing a new video every time. So when you get off that, it's like, it's almost as if, like, you've done some, like, dopamine-affecting drug. Like, you're just depleted a little bit.
Yeah, absolutely. In my day before we had the internet, I mean, the internet's brought it so many wonderful things. So we're not down on technology, but social media, the way it's organized now, we didn't have that. And so we were out making our own dopamine experiences.
Yes.
Right?
And I will say, I still have a lot of that. I've had a very fun high school experience.
That's so good.
Obviously, high school partially sucks just because it's high school. But I've had so many fun nights with, people where people aren't on their phones or, like, very minimally. Like, you go out, you have fun, like, you do fun things. Like, I still have that, but it's definitely, like, there's a lot of time
you are unusual though, and I think you're privileged in our community.
Definitely.
You've got a lot of friends. You're an extrovert. You make you're mature. You make your own fun, but I think there are a lot of people, and particularly back to young men who don't have the maturity, don't have the confidence, stay isolated, and scroll.
It's so easy.
Easy.
I've found myself feeling depressed and doing nothing but being on my phone for 3 days.
Yeah.
I can only imagine, like, feeling like that chronically. I don't think I'd ever get off my phone.
What do you think's the solution? Do you think, I forget which country, some country just banned social media for...
Australia.
Was it Australia?
Yes.
For kids under 16 or something. Mm-hmm. What do you think of that?
I honestly think it's great. Do
you think though that you can, whenever you ban something from young people, it makes them want it more. You can't smoke, you can't drink, you can't, it makes you want to do it, to sneak around.
For the people who are in middle school to high school right now, it's going to be sucks and they're just going to try and do it. But I think the long-term effect is the kids that are in elementary school right now are going to be off it less. And I think that is what's important. Like, if I was like 14 right now and lived in Australia and that happened, I would be pissed. I would not be happy. I would, buy a phone from Europe to get myself on social media. But the kids, if you don't grow up with it immediately in your face, you cannot have a social life without it.
Yeah.
Then it's very good.
Yeah. I'm glad, there is, I think the pendulum for free-for-all social media for everyone, and the way that it's been manipulated in such a negative way by the I don't want to say the politicians, the governments that want to brainwash people, and by the multinational companies that want to make their $1 trillion off you. I think that pendulum has hopefully finally hit a tipping point where parents, reasonable people, educators, scientists, doctors, people who really understand it are going to put the brakes on it, I hope. And I think the fact that Australia has started it is a good thing.
And I think that would be great. Because personally, I have a close guy friend of mine who he started this a couple years ago, does not use any social media. He has texts. That's about it. He doesn't have Instagram, doesn't have TikTok, does not have Snapchat.
Yeah.
And that's a big one. Like, I could do not having any social media, but Snapchat is really like my messages.
That's your communication.
It's I call people, I text people, I check in with people. It's, that's how Grandpa had to contact me to get me to see their text. I don't go on messages. So he really made the effort to totally disconnect from all of it. And he is one of the most genuinely happy people.
Wow, that is
and
something.
Also a very good like human being, like a very funny, nice person.
Yeah. Wow.
And he recommends it all the time, and I always think, wow, I need the willpower.
Well, a good friend of mine, wrote a book about kind of a very well known book about disconnecting on Friday night. It had to do with the Jewish religion and Shabbat, and disconnecting all electronics for, I think it's a 24-hour period from Friday night through, all through Saturday. And they get rid of their phones. I mean, there's no, not only just social media, but email, no connection, so that time can be used for family, for talking, for engaging. And
and when you hear that, you're like, 24 hours, I could go 24 hours easy. You immediately think, I'm not that addicted. But if you think about it, like, just picking up my phone to check the time, scrolling for 5 minutes.
Well, everything's on phones now. And I mean, it's unfortunate that schools, teach now through, everyone has to have an iPad or a computer at school, right?
Yeah, they provide
There's no
books.
Are there books still?
Like, I, use, a textbook, only in one class, and it's very rarely. All their textbook homework is online. The textbook is online.
That's what
So I'd say
95%
of my... I'd say 90% of my homework is online.
Yeah,
in math, we get, sheets.
It makes it hard to disconnect. Well, at least social media could be curtailed.
Yeah. Excuse me.
That's all right.
I don't mind school being on computers, except I've had to get blue light glasses because my eyesight has gotten so bad over the last couple of years from just having my brightness at full brightness, and staring so close at my phone. I recently got blue light glasses, and it's changed my life.
Does it work?
Yes.
that I've never used them. I bought them for my son, and I don't think he ever used them because he was gaming a lot and just right up to a computer. But you notice a difference.
I used to wake up with my eyes feeling strained and my eyes feeling dry, and when I would look at my phone, it just a little bit strained my eyes, especially at night when it's very bright. And it's totally gotten rid of that, and it only made me realize once it was gone that it was there. And I was like, oh my gosh.
So we've talked about the effects of social media causing isolation and possible anxiety, but what about just school and the pressure to succeed? Tell me
Crippling.
Tell me what it's like to be a junior.
Well, I definitely say junior year is the hardest so far, and from what I've heard, it's the hardest period.
Yep.
But especially,
and let me interrupt you because you've been told, because I've heard it too, that if you want to get into a good college, the junior year is the main one you've got to succeed in, and that's what they look at.
100%, But I've been thinking about college even before then. I feel like it's so a really high topic. But I was gonna say, especially where we live, it's the expectation that you are fun, you have a social life, you go out, you have friends, you do your best effort to look good, and you also get good grades. That is kind of the exception. I feel like in all those teen movies, you always see there's the jocks and the people who party, and they all have Fs and they don't care, and it's fine and it's fun. That is not what it's like at all. I always thought that.
You have a lot of everybody's trying to succeed.
Yes, there's obviously going to be a selection of people who think school doesn't matter, and maybe for some people it really doesn't. But I think I'd say 75%, 80% are very driven to get good grades. And simultaneously also go to parties and have fun. And I know people who study for finals for 6 hours and then go to a party and then have their final the next day. Do you know what I mean? Speaking of finals, everyone is so stressed right now. They had to like open the library super late. Every single person I've talked to is like, I'm horrified. Which,
well, again, I think about what you're going through and the stress that it puts on young people your age, and it starts even earlier. It's not just your junior year, and compare it to my growing up, and now they have, let's just go back. They want kindergarten kids to be able to read. I mean,
well, I think in 20 years the kids, like, my level of knowledge and like what I've been taught is going to be like 8th grade. They're going to start. That's the pressure of society, and it's not where people are biologically. Yeah.
So 5-year-olds, some of them, the really precocious ones, a small handful, might be able to read, but the majority want to play.
Yeah.
And get muddy. And
I have 2 nephews that are 3 and 1.
Yeah.
And the 1-year-old, his favorite activity, like, he might be one of those 5-year-olds that like to read. His favorite activity is getting read books. But I don't think if I ever was like, hey guys, want to go play with your cars and tractors in the mud, or do you want to go learn how to read a book? They'd be like, what?
Yeah. But now there's an expectation scholastically that, and if you're not, kindergarten ready, if you're not 1st grade ready,
right.
You're considered, there's something wrong with you, you can't read, and really it's not taking into consideration developmentally where little children are at.
Definitely.
And then it just continues through grade school. I don't know did you guys have recess?
Yeah, we had recess.
Okay, well I think a lot of schools now have done away with recess. And even lunchtime is, 20 minutes to get your food and get in line and eat.
Yeah, I remember, like, I didn't have, like, past, like, elementary school, I never had recess.
Yeah.
We would have, like, lunch, but that was it.
Yeah.
And obviously now in high school I don't have recess.
Well, of course not.
But I really wish I would have had someone my age in middle school, because even then I was riddled with anxiety about college and getting a 4.0 in middle school.
Yeah.
And I wish I could have told, and I, especially then, I mean, now I feel like I have it somewhat all under control and I can balance, but like middle school, like did not want to do anything. Like all I wanted was to get good grades. I was so stressed out every time I got a bad grade. I think one time, I took algebra in middle school, which was like the like advanced class, and I dropped out of it first semester because I had a B-.
Wow.
Yeah, I was so stressed out about it. I'm like, I'm just gonna switch into normal my normal math class.
Because of the grade.
Because of the grade. And I wish I could have told myself, oh my god, none of it matters, literally one bit. Middle school does not matter. I mean, obviously you need to learn, and getting good grades reflects that, but I mean, nothing matters before high school, really.
Yeah, the pressure.
God, I could have got a D
early.
in that class and been fine.
The pressure starts early, and
Definitely.
It comes from externally, and it also, of course, people put internal pressure. You're somebody who's self-driven, so you put a lot of internal pressure on yourself. I know your mom doesn't try and pressure you into anything, but
I was gonna say I'm very lucky to have a very relaxed relationship with my mom. She kind of says, if you keep up good grades, you don't do bad stuff, I'll give you the longest leash that you want. But grades has always been something. She is not strict, but very
grade focused
about.
Yeah.
Which, but she's never really had to be like that, because I've always like...
Yeah. Well, do you have anxiety, do you think?
I would definitely say so. I would say, definitely occasionally. I think as I've gotten older, it's got a lot better. Like, I remember having, as a child, not like middle schooler, but child having terrible anxiety, and then middle school was pretty bad, and then now like I said, like I feel like I've got most everything under control, so it's a lot
really
rarer.
Good. That's really good.
But definitely in elementary and middle school.
Yeah, it starts early. Well, Kira, it's always good to, hear what's going on from your point of view. I'm so interested in, I think the older I get, the more interested I get, not just in you, of course, I'm totally interested in you, everything about you, but, in our younger generation and how the world is going to be for them and how they're going to shape the world. And I think always, historically, throughout history, older people think that young people are not equipped to take over.
Right.
You can go back to Plato and Hippocrates? No.
Socrates?
Socrates, thank you. Hippocrates, medicine. The kinds of things they were saying about young people totally transfer into current thinking, but always young people have risen to the occasion. I just hope that that we haven't made the world so tough for you that you can, do the things that you want to do and be able to make the changes that are necessary.
You know what? I have spent a lot of my life stressing about that. I'm like, oh my god, especially with AI in college, it's if you don't have a 4.8, you're living under a bridge. Right. But from the people I've met and the experiences I've had with people, and also through social media, seeing really like-minded people like myself and people who are much better than myself, it really gives me a lot of hope for the future.
That's great to hear.
So, and that eases my anxiety a lot, definitely.
Well, the more hope and integrity that young people have, the better. Then we're in good hands. The world's in good hands. All right. Well, we'll talk again later.
Yes.
All right. Great to see you.
Good. Yeah.